4. Hey, and we're live. And Sean, our neighborhood friendly Sean is inching closer, everybody. He is inching closer. So here is the deal. We're having some technical issues. It's also Martin Luther King weekend. We're going to keep today short. If you can see and hear me okay. Just because we're having some audio and visual issues. So give me a thumbs up if I'm coming in okay. Cool, 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. 2 people can. 2 of you can see us just fine. All right, cool. Well, all right, Joe gives us 2 thumbs up. All right, thank you. All right, so we're gonna keep today pretty simple, pretty short. Let's do a quick update on the sale of the business. Just talk about a little bit of what we've had to think about since we started selling. When you're selling, at least it feels like for me, it's a lot of the same thing, kind of over and over again. What are some of the important things we've had to really hound in on? We've had to be really clear on contracts with vendors. So if we have any contracts with shipping companies or our suppliers or big customers, any contracts that exist, that's a big deal. They're doing a little bit of what you call background investigation, making sure we have no pending lawsuits and stuff like that. What else has been important?
I would say for me it was the data tracking.
Yeah, this
that we were talking about
interesting
before.
For you.
They really wanted to know why we made the decisions we did, which sometimes when it's just Ryan and I, we just sit down, talk about it, and make a decision. We don't write down why we changed the price by $1. And they really wanted to know on like a microscopic atomic level, why did we change our ad spending? Why did we change our title? So that's been something that's kind of been eye-opening as to the importance of recording why we make changes going forward.
And just recording changes in general that we made. And what they're looking for is duplicable results. So just like any business you were going into, if you wanted to continue the momentum that the company has built up, you would want to ensure that it was duplicable. That your changes are going to be profitable moving forward. So they really wanted to know what changes we made and why we made them so that they could duplicate the growth of that. We've had several conversations about what our plan is going to be moving forward, what we're going to do to grow the business together, what they need to be thinking about to grow the business together, what have been our major hang-ups, and that's been we've almost obsessed over that. And our biggest thing for this business was cash. We had a certain amount that we were interested in investing, and since we weren't willing to go beyond that, there were certain difficulties that we had of growing the business. So that's something that we're really pushing for the acquiring company to do, is to take their strength is cash. That's why they're buying this company and other Amazon companies, is because they have a lot of cash, and so they can leverage speed of growth much faster than we could do just on our own, or we're willing to do just on our own. So we're really pushing for them to take a serious investment in the company to grow it at a faster rate. It's one of the things that makes an acquisition attractive to them and attractive to people like those of us in the tribe, because if cash is not a strength and more legwork is the strength, that you're still building an asset and you can exchange that for cash at some point once you're at the level. What else? Is there anything else?
I thought it was interesting that they felt it was pretty important to have liability insurance, which is something that we had not thought was very important at the size we were at.
Right.
So that just might be something to consider. if that's the right move for your business or not.
Yeah, if there's any way that somebody could get hurt by using your product, you may want to look into product liability insurance. A lot of times, domestic manufacturers will have this in place. So if you're doing a supplement, domestic suppliers often have this in place that protect you, but you'll want to talk to your supplier about it. Other times you're not protected, so this company wants to get it. So if somebody slips on a yoga mat, the example that they used was if you're a violin player and you are using your yoga mat, you slip and fall, you break your wrist, you can't make violin music anymore. That could be a major lawsuit. So that was important to them. Let's tell the story about last week, because I promised that I would share this story, and then I completely forgot on the Hangout. So on the we postponed last week's Hangout a day because Sean and myself and the people acquiring the business went to a yoga class that was put on by a girl who has millions of YouTube views and lives right here in Austin, Texas. So she's got 350,000 some subscribers on YouTube, gets millions of views on her videos, and she has no sponsorship deals, and she's not monetizing her audience except sending them to her website for digital products. So there's no physical products involved. So we went there to her yoga class, and also to put the idea in her mind about possibly working with us on some sort of a spokeswomanship basis. And she was open to the idea, and we are going to have future conversations down the road with her and her partner, and to see if there's a relationship that we can work out. So what I wanted to bring up with you is to start thinking about everybody in the ASM community is right now competing for the same advertising space. They're doing launches, they're doing Amazon PPC, and all of that works, of course. But if you can think about other advertising channels that may be new, fresh blood, for example, somebody with a YouTube channel of 1 million people that doesn't have a spokesmanship deal with any of your competitors, it is worth a conversation for you to try to reach out to somebody and at least explore some opportunities of working together. Somebody. So the opportunity to work with somebody who has a large following has the possibility of expanding you to a bunch of fresh blood, and it's almost like doing a launch to a group of people that aren't part of what everybody else is going after. So it's worth a conversation if you have a brandable company of going to people that might have a market and might have a list of people in your market that would be interested in your products. It's at least worth an hour of surfing of your time this week. All right, that's my lesson for the day. I'm going to check on the chat box just to make sure people have what they need. But that's it. We will things over for questions. So if anybody has an update on something they tried this week, of something they're testing, or just wants us to go into their business, we'll take 20 to 30 minutes. Oh, of course, Freedom Fastlane would be down when we're trying to do a call. So we've had some problems this week with Freedom Fastlane. Of course, and my email's blowing up. So give me 1 second. I'm going to send out the backup link. Stand by 1 second as I send out the backup link to the tribe. Sean, say something interesting while I'm doing this.
And tell my ASAP story?
Absolutely, you can.
So I don't know if you all are familiar with the online comic Homestar Runner, but Ryan and I both think it's pretty darn funny. And we were watching one, and in the background of this comic, there is a sticky note that just says ASAP with an exclamation point. There's no context, no point just says ASAP. So for the last 2 weeks at my day job, I've been leaving random notes. And finally on Thursday, someone like freaked out about it. Luckily, I was working from home, so that I wouldn't have been able to keep a straight face. But he was running around the office making people write ASAP on a notebook so we could compare the handwriting to see who left him this note, so we could figure out what was so darn important.
That's our interesting story.
That's all I've got. That's the most interesting thing going on right
now. Why is Freedom Fastlane giving me a database error? Say something. One more thing interesting while I try to fix this issue.
Interesting. Freedom Fastlane's working for me.
What?
It's working fine.
Keep saying something interesting.
Interesting. Something interesting. Something interesting. Something interesting. Interesting, but the weather is finally nice here in Austin. Last week was kind of like dreary and what you might expect it to be in January in the United States, and now it's like 70 and sunny, which is wonderful.
And we're back. Okay, so for those of you who are attempting to watch the stream and couldn't watch the stream, my sincere apologies for the technical mishap that Sean is not having, apparently. So today has just been, it feels like Friday the 13th as far as technical stuff goes here in Austin, Texas. So let's make this easy. Let's turn it over to you. If you have questions, we'll take them. If you've got things you want to share with the group, please do so. Have at it, tribe.
I got something I want to.
Go ahead, James.
I got something I want to bring up. I guess 2 weeks ago, when we had the meeting, we talked about changing my price because I was floating around. I was floating over 1,000 in my BSR. So when I dropped my price by $2, I immediately got, instead of doing around like maybe 20, 25 sales, my average bumped up to about 40 sales a day. Some days spiking up to 57. So that really shot up my BSR. I think the highest that I got was around 492 in my niche, and my rankings all came back. So that was good. So the problem now is keeping an inventory because I only had about 700 units or so, and those are pretty much selling out fast. And so what I did this morning was I tried to slow down the amount of products being ordered by only allowing a certain amount to be ordered per day. So similar to how we do when we do the Dawn Blast, and so I only had available 20 units a day to sell. That hurt my rankings all of a sudden. So I was, on page one for most of my keywords. Now I don't even see my listing anymore on most of my keywords. So
Paul, sorry to interrupt, but Amazon's doing a crazy dance right now. So everybody's affected by that right now.
Okay.
About 48 hours. This is like a once in 4 to 6 months thing that Amazon just freaks out and everybody gets shuffled all over the place, and then in about 48 hours it tends to go back to normal. So. Okay. Is a rare situation. That's the reason for that is a rare situation. That's not a correlation there.
Okay, perfect. I was concerned because as soon as I did it, I track my rankings every day. As soon as I did it, everything disappeared. So okay.
Did it happen about 36 hours ago?
I did it about 8 hours ago.
Oh, well, that's interesting. What was the change you made?
So I only had about 160 units in inventory. So what I did is I reserved I had about 140 units in inventory, and I reserved 120. So it only left me with 20 units in inventory.
Well, that would do it if they sold. If the 20 units sold, you would disappear, but it wouldn't happen before you sold. So unless that's part of one of the changes they're making. Well, have you gotten rid of that inventory?
No, I held it for 2 weeks. I did the whole 2-week hold thing.
Have you released them back?
Not yet.
Okay. So one of two things is going on. Either A, the inventory that was there sold, so Amazon thinks you're out of stock now, or B, once you release that back in, you'll show up just fine because it's just an algorithmic change. So
I can go to my listing and it shows that I have about 15 left. So I don't know.
I don't know either. Sometimes I can't figure Amazon out. But I want to go back to your first point. You lowered your product $2, but you started selling. You doubled the amount of inventory that you were selling on a daily basis. So your overall daily profits went up like 80%.
More or less, maybe probably around 50%.
Okay, cool. So that's worth the $2 drop that you no longer get. Cool, nice work, man. And your DSR is back. Your rankings are back. Cool. Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
See, that is the beauty of these calls. Sometimes one little tweak, one little thing can just completely change somebody's business. That is what's fun about these calls. Cool, James. What's the next step for you as far as inventory goes and getting how far are you away from new inventory?
So new inventory should be in stock by Wednesday of next week. I just cut a deal with a supplier because I still was having inventory management issues. So they're just going to send me a set quantity every week so that this doesn't happen anymore.
Cool. Good move. Well, congratulations, man.
All right.
When you're over to 50 units a day, it's probably time for you to start thinking about what your next products are going to be. That's where you're
I already got the next product on this. Well, I already got the inventory. I already got the sample for the next product, and I'm working with a designer right now on 99 Designs to get the labeling and all that stuff situated, and hopefully should be launching it before we come to Austin in March.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Cool. That's excellent. Congratulations, man. Start thinking about product number 3 while you're at it, because your next stage is rolling out as many products as you can comfortably handle. You're right there. Cool. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Somebody else. What can we do? Han, you're cracking me up because you're it looks like you're peering into our souls right now. Like the way you are. You're on the Hangout. I'm gonna start
using my cell phone for the call today.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So somebody give us what's going on in their business, or I'm gonna start calling you out.
All right, I'll go.
Cool. Go for it.
So last week you told me to stop paying attention to everything every day, and I did that, and it helped tremendously. And it was actually surprising because when I stopped fiddling with my listing on a regular basis, my ranking started to go up. So, and so that happened this week. It also happened this week that, hold on a second, I'm not seeing you. There you are. It also happened this week that I got some inventory back in stock, so that also helped. So the day after I got inventory, I got a big bump in sales.
What's a big bump? Because I think last week you said, I think your record was 13?
16 was before Christmas, and then it had been hovering around 4 to 6, and then it kind of dropped down to like 2. And then the day after I got sale inventory, I think I had a 7-unit day, a 9-unit day, and a 10-unit day. So it's starting to creep back up.
Good.
I'm going to do a mini promotion to. I've got an email list that I'm building through my Facebook group that I have 5,000 likes on right now, and so I'm going to do a mini promotion to them tomorrow morning, kind of like a Zom blast, but I'm just emailing it to my list, and so I'll do that tomorrow, and then I'm probably going to do another Zom blast this week, and then see where that takes me.
Great. I think that is all good decisions for you to make. So, did you make any changes to your listing? As we talked last week, you were saying, I changed my headline at 8 a.m., and then 9 a.m. I changed the bullet, and then by 10 a.m. I changed an image, and I have no idea how to track it. I'm exaggerating.
No, you're not really. That's pretty much what I was doing. But no, I made no changes to the listing since last week. And in fact, I decreased my ad spend also. I wanted to see what would happen there. So I took off the automatic ads. I turned those off, and I just went to the manual ads for the keywords, kind of like 80-20. I looked at the stats. I saw the keywords that were converting the best and were getting the most traffic, and I focused on 4 or 5 of those, and actually decreased my budget and just kind of did an ad spend with that. And so my average cost of sales coming down a little bit. But I must be getting organic sales. I have to believe I'm getting some organic sales. Otherwise, I wouldn't be selling more with the smaller ad budget.
And you said that your rankings started to climb. Where are you right now for your major keywords?
So for my one major keyword, I have been around 26, 27, 28, and today I checked it. I was up to 11. For another keyword, I was around 8 to 10, and today I'm at 4. And then for the one that I said was a really great keyword, but it wasn't great for this product, I was at like 130, and today I'm on the second page.
That's interesting.
I don't know why that is, but I'm not going to complain because it's a lot of traffic to that keyword.
Now keep in mind, just like I told Jane, Amazon's doing a weirdo shuffle right now.
Yeah.
So people are up, people are down. I have products that I was number 1 for that now I'm on third page for. I have products I was on the second page for that now I'm the top of page 1. There's a weird shift going on, and it'll settle after a couple of days. So that'll be a good indicator of where you're at in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that. But like I said, the 10 sale day was not yesterday; it was the day before. And you know, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm interested to see once I get this second keyword, do the mini blast with the super URL, where I'm at 11 right now, and if I can build that up, I hope that'll help me with organic rankings. Then I'll probably do the Zom blast to that keyword also.
Good. I think that's a good decision for you. So good work. You'll find that the trajectory is slow, but it is steady up. And that's why you'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure the micro details of it out on an hour-to-hour, day-to-day basis. But if you look at it from a week-to-week or month-to-month basis, things start to make sense. So good work.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for. Cool. Let's get at least one more in here. We're going to keep today fairly short, but let's get at least one more in here just to see what's up.
Well, I can get into mine if you want.
Cool. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, it's been a busy week for me leading up to the launch. I have the website mostly done, professionally designed. I have so the supplier has run the production run finally, and that's on the way. Not there yet, but it's on the way. I have a sweepstakes, as Melanie, I don't know if you saw that post from Melanie on your tribe thing. Really popular to do like a sweepstakes type giveaway. I'm kind of comparing that against just a direct opt-in page for a giveaway and just seeing which one converts more. I don't have enough data to really tell you yet, but I should know. The website's going, that's looking good. I have the Facebook community growing. I'm sort of advertising with that, and then when I finally get my inventory online, then I'll start doing pay-per-click and things like that.
Cool. I think, you know, you had the regulatory, but like you had some things that you needed to make sure were in place legally, right? That was what.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of work that went into my label, and a lot of back and forth. My label is beautiful, by the way. It's professionally designed. It looks better than everyone else's.
Good. And the products are better too. You came up with something different. Your supplier had a better quality product than your competitors, correct?
Yeah, we had a differentiated product in terms of content and where I could position it in the Amazon categories than what's already up there. I'm not sure how long that competitive advantage will last, but I want to get it up and zone blast the hell out of it while it's still there.
I think you're in a good spot. I think you're doing things right. In my supplement company, I wish we had taken the time that we did up front, because we would have been way ahead of where we are now had we taken that time up front. We had setbacks trying to climb our way to the top without doing the work that you're doing right now, and you're doing it now, which means your trajectory seems slower now, but it's going to be faster once you're in stock. So I think you are doing the right thing.
That's kind of what I'm betting on. I don't know if I'm not the world's greatest marketer, so I might just start, instead of me designing these ads, just post it all on Fiverr, have the pros do it, and just take what they do. It'll save me time, and it's not very expensive.
I just want to point out that you just called Fiverr people professionals, which I think would be the most generous way to describe people on Fiverr. No offense to people who make their living working 24 hours a day on Fiverr.
Yeah.
But I would not hesitate to call them professionals.
Well, I just know that what my weaknesses are, and they're probably better than I am still.
Okay. Well, keep in mind that for your first stage of business, all you need to worry about are blasts, pay-per-click, and what's the other thing that I recommend? That's it. A product launch, pay-per-click, and anything to your internal either Facebook page or to your email list or to blogs or to whatever it is. That's all you got to worry about until you're at 25 sales a day. And then you repeat the process for products 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you're comfortable with. So there's nothing you need to worry about as far as marketing goes, except for writing your listing, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, and I had an ASM pro review my sales copy because I got in on that deal when I signed up.
Okay. Good. Good work, man. Okay, let's take one more. Who else would like to talk about their biz or anything that they're working on or changed this week? Sean, what did you do to your business this week?
It's my business?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know. I'm checking the chat box. Having
Oh.
you say something interesting while I'm checking the chat box.
I need to say something interesting?
Yeah, you need to say something interesting while I manage the chat box and make sure.
This week? I did not have an extremely interesting week. Yeah. There's a reason why you get these calls.
So we have I might have told the story. The people who are buying Zen Active watched our hangouts from the last round of the trial, and they thought that Sean, something like this, was like the funniest thing in the world. And I don't know why I found that so funny.
I don't either.
They thought it was really funny. I'm still getting the database error for the chat box. So my apologies to those of you who are on the streaming page having a hard time. But that's why we have the backup link. Cool. So let's take one more before we call it a holiday weekend and take some time off. Who wants to go?
Hello.
All right. Hey, Sophie. I was hoping it was going to be Sophie. We haven't heard from you in like a month.
I know, it's been ages, yeah. So it's been a bit slow my end, I have to say. I've been watching with intent and interest in what everyone else is doing. But for me, it's a bit slow, which is fine. Still getting there. So so basically I decided to do a product. So I've got my original product, which is taking a lot longer than planned because I just have to do certain things to it and there's things to be done. But the launch date should be in sort of probably around the 24th of March. So we're getting closer. And so that's that product. But then I decided in the interim, sort of just after the new year, to do another product in the UK, which I know might sound a bit weird, but it just seemed like a really good opportunity in the UK. And so, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. I'm a little bit confused, though, about why your launch date isn't until the end of March.
Well, because the thing is, the lead time on the product is between 3 to 7 weeks. So, and I just need to do a few final things. So really, by the time all that's happened, it's not going to be till I've got to wait for something to arrive, but then I need to okay that, and then I need to go back, and then it's 3 to 7 weeks. So that's why that's taking so long. So it's just taken a bit of time.
Okay.
But in the interim, I decided kept looking for other opportunities, and because I work for myself, so I can spend, I could do this pretty much full time. So I thought, why not look at, see if there's anything else. And I found another product, but it's in the UK, and it looked like a really good opportunity. So I thought, why not do it? So that hopefully will be launching in the middle of Feb. So that's like totally different brand. But the only thing is that it's a shame because the figures are not as good in the US. So it's probably not worth trying to sell it. So for example, the BSR of the product in the UK is the first BSR is like 99, then it goes on to like 900, then 1,000, 1,200, and then there's very little. The main person has quite a few reviews, but after that it's like in the 40s. So they definitely felt like there was room for me to get in there. But on the US market, the BSRs are more around sort of 3,000. They're all sort of under 5,000, but they're like 3, 4, 5. So I'm thinking, should I bother to try and sell it also in the US market, or shall I not bother? I mean, just because I'll already have the product anyway.
So a 3,000 BSR, depending on your category, is still like 20 units a day. 20,
How many units?
Like 20 to 25.
Oh, really? How do you know this, by the way? How do you work this out?
So I estimate this based on when I've had products that are around that BSR.
Right. So you know from experience. Oh, okay.
Correct.
That would be worth doing, wouldn't it? I mean, God.
Well, let's see how it does in the UK first. It's going to be a much smaller market. Let's see how it does. You need to focus on one channel at a time, obviously.
Really? So you couldn't do both America and if you've got all the copy and stuff, you don't think it's worth doing the same?
You could certainly do that, but it's basically getting reviews for two different products in two completely different markets. Because you can't have somebody based in the UK leave a US-based review.
No. So it'd be the same product, but having to do it on two different markets.
Yeah, you could do it. It's just going to be it's almost going to be like you're managing two different businesses in the market. So you could do it. It's just going to be labor intensive. Well,
the thing is that the American one would be Zonblast, and then the UK one would just be me and my contacts.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's a call that you can make, but the one thing that you need to be clear on is it can't just be one product. I mean, in time, it has to be a market.
Oh no, definitely a good market. Yeah, there's definitely at least 6 products.
Good.
If not more. I mean, you could go on forever actually. But.
Well, one other thing that you should do is look at the Google Trends, because if something has a lower BSR but it's an increasing trend, then there could be value there long term. If it's a decreasing trend, stay away from it.
Right, and so because I think I watched one of the videos again, and they were saying that the first product should be under the first product that when you're looking at a product, the first one should be under 500, and then the others can be below 5,000. Is that right, or not really?
Well, I mean, it's one person's opinion. My first product violated that. My first product, the number one person had a BSR of like 3,000. But I captured so much of the market share. That product does 150, 200 sales a day on its own now. Just that one product, because I completely blew everybody else out of the market. I do 12 times the volume of the next guy.
So what's your BSR now then? Your BSR on that product?
Under 300.
And so the main person originally was in the thousands. It was like 3,000.
Correct.
Oh, amazing.
But I basically came in and swept up 90% of the sales of the market.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And it's an increasing trend, so it's growing as well.
Yeah.
But now I don't know if I'm the exception to the rule there, but we owned that market, which is how we were able to make that work. Nobody else is making serious sales in our market. We're basically the only player.
Okay.
So you could do the same thing, depending on reviews, quality, copy, all that stuff.
And did you have in that category? Was there any? Was the person with the 3,000? Was there any like brands in there, like established brands, or?
Yes, but they were doing a horrible job at their marketing.
Yeah. Okay, well that's really positive. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And there's just one more thing I wanted to ask, because I'm kind of really gutted I can't be in America for this event.
Yep.
Because we're moving home on the 3rd. We were served a notice to move home on the 3rd of Feb. So with a family, you know, it's going to be very difficult. So is there any recording or anything that's going to happen of that tribe day? Because that's really what I was worrying about missing the most.
Yeah, if you know of a way to record 100 people for 8 hours and make it a downloadable file for someone to be able to view, I'd love to hear it, but I don't think that's possible.
What did ASM do for their day? I don't know.
They have hundreds of thousands of dollars in audiovisual equipment.
Okay, all right. No, that's okay. Well, maybe someone can just record it on voice, you know, or on a iPad with lots of space.
Yeah, if people want to
Yeah,
cool. Post it. I'd love it if people did that for one another. But from our end, there's not going to be.
All right then, thank you.
Cool. All right, guys.
Hey, Ryan, quick question.
What's up?
Quick question. Because I know Sophie was talking about 2 different brands, and other people have talked about the same. Can you put multiple brands in the same Amazon account, or do you need to spin off a different account for each brand?
All right, so you can have multiple accounts under one login. I have 4, I think, under mine, but you can only have one master. So for Zen Active, I already had a business. Sean made the Seller Central account, and then he added me as a user, but he's the master user to that. So I do have several logins with my different partners, but I'm only the master on one of them. If you have multiple businesses, I don't know what do you have any idea what it is? If you own multiple businesses, what it is?
I think you can still. So I have a personal Amazon account and I have the Zen Active account, and I added added Zen Active login to my personal account, since that's where all of my all my credit card, my Prime, all the stuff that I give Amazon my money is connected to. So I think you can have multiple seller accounts. I would think you would need to create a new Seller Central account for each business, but you can then log into all of those accounts through whatever account you want to use, kind of like email forwarding.
But don't they hate it when you have multiple Seller Central accounts through one email?
They're to be different emails, but you can then log in as a user. You can make yourself a user. So I have the S-Coin at Zen Active. I don't ever log into that. I made scoin at kent.edu, which is my personal email, the login, and I just log in as a user.
Right, okay. And that's all kosher with Amazon.
Right. You just can't make a yoga company and then make a second yoga company with a second login. They won't like that.
Okay.
But if you're selling totally different products, you have to pay them the monthly fee for each Seller Central account.
Got it. Okay. That's Sean knows all that way better than I do. Did all that make sense? It sort of made sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You techie people can figure it out.
Can I say one comment on that too?
Nope. You are.
So
one room is a lot to talk right now.
One thing I've noticed is I don't like to.
Go ahead, man.
Sorry, there's a lag. I can't hear. I've noticed that when you're commenting, like I like to, if somebody leaves me a review, I like to try and comment on every single review, like thanking them or whatever. But I don't like that coming from my personal Amazon Prime account, so I created a second Amazon account, not Seller Central, but Amazon account that's connected to my Seller Central account, so that when it's my company name, customer support that is posting the response.
Just you did the exact same thing. I mean, you're posting under Zen Active.
Right. Yeah, I don't post as my personal account.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You know who I'm sad never joined us again? Is it no?
Ryan just saw the comment on that.
I just saw Thomas Miller's comment. That was funny. Godson, you killed me. Who had the scary hoodie?
I don't know. He was there for like 6 seconds.
Yeah, he was there for like 6 seconds, and then he never came back. Was it Chad or something? We all wore scary hoodies for like 2 weeks, and he never joined us again. That was sad. All right, he looks significantly scarier with a hood up.
It's kind of warm in here.
Okay. All right, tribe. There is no meeting next week. we will have one final meeting the week after, and then we all meet in person the week after that. So we will see you in person in like 3-ish weeks. Cool? All right, guys, have a good 3-day
Can I
weekend.
just ask one thing quickly?
Nope,
Sorry.
you're banned because you're wearing a pink shirt.
So, do the tribe calls, do they finish after this seminar, or do they keep going? That was my question.
The tribe calls, they do not keep going after the live event. It reverts to the Facebook group until the next round if we decide to do a next round.
Okay,
But there is the workshops in between, which somebody dropped out of the first one, so there is one spot open in the first March workshop, and there are still a couple open for the second March workshop, and then we go public with the April events get announced at the live event when I'm on stage, and then we have them again in August, I think.
And what level is it best to be at before you come to one of those?
You should be at least at the $10,000 a month mark. If you're at the $20,000 a month mark, you'll get the most value. Between the $20,000 and $40,000 mark, that's where you get the most value.
Okay, thanks.
Cool.
All right. Do we have the dates for the first and the second one just yet?
Yeah, the first one is the. I should know this. First, let me pull it up. It's the first Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then the second is the second Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the first workshop is the first, second, third, and fourth. The second workshop is the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And then April dates are still in the works, and those are going to be the ones that are announced publicly. So the ones that are going to be private, probably just for tribe members, are those March dates. And then they stop because I have a baby girl on the way, and that's the first time I announced its gender publicly. Uh-oh.
Congrats.
In trouble for that one. And then I take a hiatus, and we resume them again in August. So that is the schedule for the workshop. Okay, tribe. Hope to see you guys at the workshops. And if you need anything, post them in the tribe. I am going to be away all of next week, so I'll be away, but I'll see you guys in 2 weeks once we're back at it. All right, guys. Have a good 3-day weekend.
Thanks.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.